Greetings, fellow humans. Welcome to Sam and Max Hit the Books. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we've got some books here for you today. We've got the new comics released on February 6th, 2018. Not too many this week.
No. But a good week. I especially liked some of the art this week in a few of these.
Pretty good art across the board.
Yeah.
And we'll go ahead and start with issue 4 of Green Lantern by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. I did want to mention the 3 captions on the cover, because I hadn't really noticed that before. But, above, there's Beware My Power, above the Green Lantern. Below that, Who Prevails When the Night of Light Means the Queen of Night. And below that, The Cosmic Vampire's Beautiful Daughter.
Wow. Yeah, good cover.
So this was an interesting issue after the last one. It was very high concept sci-fi in an even newer way than the other ones had been yet. Kind of reminded me of Star Trek Discovery in a weird way.
I kind of got that feeling too, and I was thinking that's a detriment on Discovery if it's seeming like a superhero thing.
Right, they're definitely going for the Marvel model, but that's another show.
Yeah.
But I do always like to see a Sun Eater show up.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we've seen those in All-Star Superman and Grant Morrison's Justice League, and
right.
Liam Sharp kind of makes it this weird, like, semi-cloud, semi-organism thing as it's cruising through the sky. Very interesting coloring thing on it. But, this is a cool issue. Hal Jordan goes undercover.
Yeah.
After seemingly having been disbanded from the Green Lanterns by the Guardians. But, I bet that whole story ain't true.
Right. It seems like he was feeding them a load of crap as far as Hal Jordan's place. Everything else, believable.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan, he probably stretched the truth there.
I bet almost all the things in the story happened.
Right.
Except for the last part.
Right.
Hal Jordan is clearly actually on a secret mission to join the Dark Stars on behalf of the Guardians.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but anyway, I'm glad we got to spend more time with the Lantern whose head is an exploding volcano.
I like how the explosion always looks like it has a face in this issue.
He's got a face. When they go into space and his head is being enclosed by the Lantern aura, it becomes an orb. Instead of the mushroom cloud type thing it usually is, which is great.
Yeah, very funny.
We get some cool Green Lantern fighting action as they go at what are they fighting? These pirates?
Aren't they stopping the Sun Eater?
They're doing the Sun Eater thing here, right?
Yeah.
And they're just basically holding it at bay, right, until the enormous artificial intelligence clone Green Lantern that is apparently super powerful.
Super powerful, and we don't really get a good distinction of its size in this. It could be moon-sized easily.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. You cannot tell exactly how big it's supposed to be.
They never show them in the same frame with the other lanterns.
Yeah, I wonder if this is supposed to be a replacement for Mogo, the Planet Green Lantern, who was killed a couple of years ago.
I can see that being the case for sure.
Yeah, but that said, this run seems to be ignoring the hell out of all of the previous Green Lantern comics of the last decade. Like, very much paying attention to Green Lantern comics that came out in the 70s and 80s. But if you were part of that Jeff Johns run, none of that, like, 8 light spectrum crap here.
That's true.
Yeah. So, we get the classic Hal gets dressed down by the Guardians and stripped of his power scene, which is always good. That's a Green Lantern classic, but as we suggest, I doubt that this is the way this actually happened. I mean, it is possible that he actually finagled an escape and is, doing this all on his own, completely independently.
It's possible.
That would be pretty badass.
It would be. It would definitely be badass.
But the fact that this whole thing, like this story arc is, I think, titled Intergalactic Lawman. So I feel like it's got to be that old. He's doing a police plot. He's doing the get embedded with the criminals.
Yeah. Most Green Lanterns are known. So to do undercover work, they have to get canned.
Right. And they know Hal Jordan has a penchant for disobeying the Guardians and getting yelled at and stuff. So.
Yeah, but he did kill that guy.
Did he? No, I guess he did.
You thought it was self-defense.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that kind of lends a little more credence to the Hal Jordan is off the rails a little and investigating this in his own way.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that guy deserved to die.
Yeah, that guy 100% deserved to die. Like, I love how even the Lantern in the issue says that when they're like, look, we all wanted to do it, Hal.
Right.
So I would give this issue a 7.
Yeah, I'd give it the 7 as well. I think it was very good. It's going strong.
Really enjoyed it. Good stuff. All right, so next we are on, what is it? This is Batman?
This is Batman.
But it's not our usual creative team. It's the Flash creative team, I believe. At least Joshua Williamson is the writer of Flash.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say it, because even if you found his name in here, you weren't going to be able to pronounce it. I think his name is Guillem. Guillem March. Yeah.
Guillem March. Well, I think he did a pretty awesome job.
This issue, it's so funny how we were just talking about dropping Batman. And
right, then we get this.
Then we get this, and it's going to be like a 2 or 3 issue interlude in the Nightmare Saga thing, because it's just going to be a big Flash crossover.
Nice.
Which weirdly seems like it's going to deal with a big Tom King Batman run thing, which is the whole Gotham and Gotham Girl.
Right. Yeah. They show up at the end of this issue. This issue starts with the Justice League fighting the Amazo Justice League. So, which seems like a bunch of robotic Justice League people.
The Amazos, they replicate the Justice League stars. And I appreciated the touch that it's not the current Justice League roster. It's like one previous, because there isn't an equivalent for Mira. And there's a robot Cyborg is fighting Martian Manhunter. So it's basically it's the new 52 Amazo Justice League.
Nice. Yeah, so they're getting in that fight and talking about their guys as they're fighting their guys. And Batman sees Superman become somebody else briefly.
Yeah, he thinks he's hallucinating. Calls Alfred.
So something's going weird there. Back to the art. I love Superman's smile while they're fighting these guys. I mean, it's perfect. I totally thought when I saw that, like, yeah, Superman would have a smile on in a fight like this.
That's very all-star.
The kind of guy he is.
Right, exactly. This isn't actually that much of a threat to him. And I like the art distinction that it creates, because when he flashes over into Commander Steel for a second, like, it's clearly not a smile, you can tell. Yeah, we're seeing distinction here.
Yeah, so Batman thinks something weird's going on. But we sidebar from all that into an investigation that's been happening with the Flash and Batman. They've been investigating a massacre of some kind.
Well, yeah,
happened.
The big Tom King event going on that I didn't buy and we haven't been reviewing, Heroes in Crisis, is currently happening. And one of the things that happened is that Wally West, the former
right,
Flash,
Wally
got
West.
killed.
Yeah, he got killed. But they ran out of leads, but they're both still working on it on their own in secret. And Batman, he got some leads and found out that some stuff was going to be going down in
Central City.
Central City.
I know all these DC cities.
Yeah.
Coast City, Central City, Star City.
The Flash gets there and knows Batman. He knows some stuff, and Batman briefly sees the Flash morph into an older Flash, different Flash. Right? Was it Wally? Is that Wally?
Yeah. Hair? Wally, is the one who has the Flash costume, but his hair shows.
Okay, yeah. He sees him briefly flash into Wally, but we don't know what all that's about yet. But Batman does reveal that he knows that Gotham Girl and
Gotham are involved. Gotham Girl is the one who committed this massacre in Central City that they missed, yeah. And I did enjoy this quick flashback they had where it was back to the Dick Grayson Robin era. And we get to see this like cool updated version of essentially the 60s Batmobile where they each have their individual cockpits.
Yeah, I like that Batmobile.
But I hate the hell out of the Dick Grayson Robin costume that they have him in every time they flash back to him as Robin since the New 52 reboot. It's like, I hate it. So many lines. Get rid of all that shit.
Yeah, it's a shame. But, yeah, I like it. And even Flash commented on when you're doing fighting crime, you gotta have a smile on to show everybody that there's hope. And
Right.
it was cool because I thought that when I saw Superman smiling, and then Flash confirmed that feeling for me.
Yeah, I really I appreciate that sort of take, especially on guys like Flash.
Right.
They're cognizant of things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lots of fun. I would give this Batman probably a 6.
I think 6 is about right for this. Now, should I pick up the Flash issues that this is going to be tying in with, and should we read this event, or just read the next issue of Batman, which will be missing an issue of the Flash, and then get back to the usual? What do you think?
I'll leave it up to you.
We'll
when
see
it
how
comes
many
to
things-
crossovers like that. I'm pretty mad most of the time.
We can usually figure out what's happening just in the title, but the problem is the last issue of if it's a 4-issue crossover, the Flash will have the last issue.
Flash will have the last issue.
We'll see how many comics come out that day. Okay, moving on to issue 7 of Justice League. This was one where you better not have skipped the annual, because
Yeah, really.
we are fully in the fallout from that. It's just a little Martian Manhunter and Lex go to Mars because John has remembered something really weird about his past.
Yeah.
He needs Luthor to help him find his childhood friend,
Childhood friend.
Lex
yeah.
Luthor. And I'm not saying that to imply that, yes, Lex Luthor's there. I'm saying that his childhood friend is Lex Luthor.
And Lex Luthor didn't know it. He got his mind wiped. And
Everybody got their mind wiped
They
by-
got their mind wiped.
By the Blackhawks. Now, this issue was confusing for me in a couple of ways. Because for one thing, when they first flashed back to young John in the tube with all the scientists standing around and we saw that kid, I was like, oh, that's going to be young Lex.
Oh, really?
And then they spent the whole, they immediately were like, oh, here's his name, and he's got this, and he's part of the program. And, it was very confusing, because then I was like, oh, I guess he's not Lex. Oh, he's this other character that you need to find. And then at the end, it switches fully back around to, oh, no, yeah, that was him. He was Lex. Different name.
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting that at all. I wasn't expecting that kid to be Lex.
It's too much. Whenever they have it be oh, yeah, Lex and Clark knew each other when they were children. That's weird. But to have Lex be an integral part of John's origin...
Right, and also a telepath.
Right, and to have it... this book... So Luthor...
He's a completely different character now.
Right, he spent several years recently, the whole Jeff Johns Justice League, the New 52, it was good guy Luthor.
Right.
Him and his armor was on the Justice League. And this title, this Justice League title, and No Justice Before it, did all this work to get Lex Luthor back to being
A bad
supervillain.
Right, but this seems like it locks him into a future of heroism, doesn't it?
Yes, Luthor's definitely going to be the reason that the Legion of Doom doesn't defeat the Justice League in this comic series.
Right.
I don't love it.
I'm okay with it.
And it just feels like a waste to have done all that work with Luthor. We'll see what happens. I can't prejudge too much.
Right.
Maybe it's just a twinge of something, and they won't do another full heel turn, and Lex is going to be an anti-hero again.
Maybe he'll be split into two: the telepathic hero and the maniacal villain.
It's the whole thing with him writing on himself in different hues that could only be picked up on certain spectrums of light that he could do.
He was just heating himself. It was infrared.
Right, but he was telling John to cycle through his optical sensors. Lex wasn't doing anything to himself.
I think he was drawing it and then saying shuffle to your optical sensors so that you can get to infrared, and
That
then
was
you'll
the
be able
first
to read
one,
this.
when you only had the one message on there.
Oh,
And then
but
in
the
the-
other times it was probably telepathic?
Right, the later time when his message would change, it's because he had used the lower down spectrums and knew that while John was cycling up to the infrared, he would pick up those messages, and as he cycled through each one, it would give him the next sentence in the statement.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool, but also very confusing because I didn't know what was happening either. I was like, is he another Martian kid?
Right.
Because it fully seemed like they were just doing Martian telepathic thought. What is happening in this issue?
Yeah.
Good art.
Good art.
Illustrating not too exciting happenings.
Yeah.
But
Totally thought Jarro was dead after Luthor poisoned him, and then
ooh,
it's
Batman would have been mad.
Jarro's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like how much Batman seems to care about this little piece of sorrow that he named Jarro.
It is weird now that all the characters just call him Jarro because it's such a joke.
Right. But also, it's a little window into, Batman being a softie on the inside.
Jaru isn't innocent, after all.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I would give this a 5. It's fine.
I would also give it a 5, just because I can't rate it as highly as Batman, which I gave a 6.
I was thinking the same thing. Moving on.
So we're moving on to issue 3 of Prodigy by Mark Miller and Raphael Albuquerque. And
a lot of things happening.
I don't remember what happened in the second issue of Prodigy.
Me neither. I know that they were continuing the investigation about the interdimensional happenings.
Right.
And that's all I remember.
Yeah, but every time I think I remember, it turns out to be one of the issues of American Violence.
Oh, American Carnage?
American Carnage.
Oh, that's funny.
With the evil people on the island and the hunting. That was American Carnage, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't remember issue 2 of this at all. I think it had some espionage.
Almost. He bribed his way into some vault or he did something with Vladimir Putin.
Right.
He got his way into a Russian vault and examines the original documents of some kind. We're on an adventure.
I tried to remember that, and I keep seeing X-Force.
But that's anyway. The thing. It's like an action movie. You don't really need to remember because it keeps you going.
That's
what's
true.
happening in front of you right now.
So this one we get a pretty nice train fight, exploding train going off the rails, flashing to other places around the world where they've been doing. They've been searching for stuff. James Bond things, yeah. With him being super intelligent, and her being some kind of spy or cop or something.
Yeah, she's fully capable. But it's very much a Doctor Who and his companion relationship at this point.
Right.
She's a spunky sidekick, and he's doing everything important.
Yeah, they talk down these two henchmen. He just talks them down. He figures out their life story by looking at them. And he makes them put down their guns and they hug it out, and then he gets them a job running a little capitalist micro society.
I feel like you're underselling it. At the end of this train fight, our heroes are hanging off the edge of the train, and the mercenaries that have been fighting them are standing over them with the guns pointed at their heads. And then, our guy literally, you know what this also is very like? Rick and Morty. I can figure out exactly what you're thinking of. All the things that have gone wrong in your life. We can do it better. And the way he follows through with it. And he's like, these guys are going to be put in charge of something in my experimental socialist utopia.
Right. An experimental New Zealand micro-society. And, anti-capitalist.
Right. But it's fine. It's experimental.
Yeah.
With this guy, that's the thing.
It's because it's this guy.
If this guy was in charge of that society, it probably would work. That's the thing. It's if you have Superman, all sorts of things work that don't work in the real world.
Yeah, this is very true.
But we can give Buckaroo Banzai his test cities, I guess. Because it does kind of turn out to be, this issue is starting to show how this is sort of a weakness on his part, almost an addiction. It's the thing he can't stop himself from doing, is grabbing people and latching onto them and making them better.
Right. That's his thing.
Taking big risks, the biggest risks he possibly can.
Yeah. But, so moving on from there, they go out into the middle of the ocean to go and find an ancient Babylonian society underwater that nobody knows about. It's never been mapped or anything. And there he finds a picture of an Earth and a mirror image Earth and a bridge between them.
It's Fringe!
And that's why it's Fringe.
It's so Fringe.
Super smart guy. Ancient bridge built from the past. I bet there's some kind of time travel that's going to be showing up at some point to have it so that he builds the machine that creates the thing. And then it's Fringe.
Oh, if that happens, that's rough.
Yeah, the vacuum.
I wonder if this one's one of the ones that Netflix is going to make into a show.
I think I'd watch that show.
I can see it. If they were we want to have our own Sherlock.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but to escape, he has to kill a bunch of sharks.
And he does feel a little bad about it.
And he feels a little bad about it. And he gets onto the boat and says, could we not mention I killed all those beautiful sharks? And she had just had to kill a bunch of dudes on the boat. And that was pretty funny as well.
Wow, yeah, you know what? I didn't even notice that little
detail.
That little bit of it, yeah,
Can
where-
we not talk about that? And there's these 3 corpses right here.
She's even almost rolling her eyes. Like,
Oh,
this
yeah.
guy. And then it gets even more Indiana Jones because they're hanging out with, like, the contacts and wearing the white shirt suits.
Right, in disguise.
Yeah,
He goes and he hustles some poker.
I think, is what happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, he got the money, but then he got all the guns on him, and that is to be continued.
He's, like, blatantly calling in his backup while they're pointing the guns at him. He's like, I need you to be at the window of this part. Like,
Out loud, everybody's just standing right there. He's like, be here, count to 300, and then be here.
like by the time they get there, he's going to already have recruited all those guys.
Maybe. Or maybe he's just going to fight them all. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I bet he's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'd give this issue of Prodigy probably a 6.
I think 6 is right for this. It's worth reading.
Right. It's
got one
fun
cool
to read.
thing, like the conversion conversation. That's not how you expect an action scene to end.
Not at all.
It's well illustrated. I used to say again that I think this is the best looking Raphael Albuquerque's art has ever been. It's so much tighter than his usual style, which is very like brushy and sort of impressionistic.
And this is good art.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Once again.
All right, we are going to finish out our reviews with issue 13 of The Immortal Hulk by Al Ewing and Joe Bennett. This is the conclusion of the Hulk in Hell arc.
Yes, it is.
And seemingly the conclusion of the whole Green Door arc, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
It's okay. It looks really cool. It's just kind of an action sequence, and zombie Rick Jones turns into Abomination and helps Bannerless Hulk fight off some deady monster things. And meanwhile, Absorbing Man is the one who kind of saves the day
by
clawing his way up and freeing Banner from the energy thing. I thought that he had recombined them, but apparently all he did was like disconnect Banner from the green energy column, and that was enough to fully beef Hulk back up.
Yeah, I thought he was absorbing Banner.
Which, that would be interesting. Banner was an Absorbing Man instead of Hulk. But
it just, boom, they're back together.
Yeah, the
just
Hulk,
like that.
Hulk is muscular, and he is strong, and Hulk is the strongest one there is, so no matter how scary this semi-lame giant demon they set up is...
as soon as he's fully pumped up Hulk again, it's like over for everyone else.
He does the full-on, the old Hulk hand clap move, where he can create, a sonic boom of incredible force just by doing a big clap, and dissipates the evil demon energy cloud and all the zombies around.
Yeah, he confronts his father.
Well, he talks to Banner.
And then he talks to Banner.
Oh yeah, you're right. He talks to his dad when he's
beating all the demons. He's yelling at his dad.
He is yelling at
him. That was rather funny.
Yeah, it is funny when he goes, "You're not my son," and Hulk goes, "Is that your latest theory?"
Exactly. Fun, good times.
But there's one special theory, Dad. The only equation you need: Hulk is Hulk.
Yeah.
And then, Banner and Hulk have a little conversation where Hulk talks to Bruce and says, so you know who I am. I've been here longer than any of the others. So I think this implication is that this is the physical manifestation of the Hulk that existed in Banner before he actually hulked out. Like, there's all these other personalities that have been created by the Gamma, but this one was the beast that was created from, like, the abuse from his father and everything.
Right.
And so I guess this is the one Hulk that likes Banner.
Yeah. I guess so.
Because that's a little weird. And the Hulk's like, I love you, stupid kid. It's almost like Hulk is saying, like, I'm your dad now.
Ooh. Yeah, let's hope not.
And then we get a little scene with what's left of Gamma Flight talking to Absorbing Man, and he's going to join the team. And Gun Hand guy, who I forgot about completely,
I know,
is there. I forget who he's working for.
Yeah, but he was probably in hell too, just hiding in the mountains the whole time.
Insane. I doubt that. I think they were in a store of mine. He was far enough away with a sniper rifle. that he just chilled till they got back.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. It is unclear.
He is creepy.
He is a weirdo. I'm sure that is going to be probably the next plot thread we're following as far as villains go.
Yeah. Maybe he works for that Mr. Fantastic with the long head. Did he make an appearance?
The Maker.
The Maker, yeah. The Maker had Hulk at one point.
I'd be down for a little Maker crossover. Man, Immortal Hulk and Venom crossing over. I wouldn't be sad.
No.
And then our tease for the Bruce Banner part of the next arc is that Bruce is in a glass case of emotions.
Yeah.
He's calling up Betty. We're gonna get some Betty.
Yep.
And but yeah, the last page reveal with Bruce in the telephone pole, telephone booth.
Yeah.
Full page. It's literally Ron Jeremy, like, slamming his fist against the side and sobbing. Baxter!
Yeah.
So it was okay, but I gotta be honest. It was just okay. It wasn't as cool as I was really hoping all this cool shit was building up to.
Yeah, I feel like the hell stuff was already kind of wearing thin, and then it's nice that this put it to an end, but yeah, it was a little less than it seemed to promise.
It was the final fight is so sudden and perfunctory.
Yeah.
And it's all sort of like I guess that's the end of that arc.
Right. It's not even as good as the fight that got us into hell between Hulk and the Absorbing Man, when the Absorbing Man ripped himself in half. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was dope. See, that's what I mean. Like, there was some big stuff happening, but all the really cool stuff happened in, like, the first 2 issues of this arc.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if we consider the start of this arc the Jars stuff.
Well, the Jars went on for...
Right,
that was one issue.
That was one issue of Hulk and Jars.
Right, and then Messed Up Hulk.
Right, and then Absorbing Man was next issue.
Absorbing Man, right.
So I would say that this is a 7. Still pretty good. Very good art. I love the page where Rick Jones turns into Abomination, and it's another one of the super disgusting transformation sequences.
Yeah.
Like, I guess that's a protagonist.
Oh. Yeah, no, I think 7 is right.
We lined all up on this episode. Well, that is going to do it for Sam and Max Hit the Books. Thanks for listening.
Been fun, as always.
Leave us a like, subscribe, super helpful. Leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. And we will see you next time.